Which cryptocurrency is being attacked by the SEC after XRP? How long will crypto holders believe in Ripple? How much will XRP cost in mid-2020? Based on a prior court order, defense attorney and former federal prosecutor James K. Filing anticipates the release of the controversial Hyman speech materials on June 6. Bill Hyman, a former director of the SEC's corporate finance section, made statements in 2018 suggesting that ETH, was not a security, and these statements are the subject of the Hyman paper. The records include internal SEC debate and discussion over the speech in question. Fallon, who has been keeping a close eye on the SEC's UV's Ripple case for the last 2 years, updated his followers on May 17 about the possibility of unsealing the papers. In accordance with the court's order on September 12, 2022, the parties have 21 days to submit publicly available redacted copies of the summary judgment papers in accordance with the sealing judgment papers From the date of the judgment yesterday until June 6 is 21 days. However, if the SEC files an appeal or if a settlement is reached, the stated schedule may be altered, according to some observers. Jeremy Hogan, partner at Hogan and another attorney watching the case, said the SEC has about 10 days to submit an appeal to this particular judgment. Some members of the XRP community, like Ashley Prosperone, think that the possibility of unsealing the papers might encourage both parties to negotiate a settlement, as they each could be sitting on material that they don't want the other to have access to. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse said on Twitter on May 16 that the company is eager for the unredacted Hyman emails to be publicly available soon. Ripple Labs has had access to the records for some time, but it still considers this part of the case to be crucial in refuting the SEC's claims that XRP is a security. Towards the end of December, the SEC filed a request to seal the records from public view, citing no relevance to the result of the case and the SEC's purpose outweighing the public's right to see the documents as reasons for doing so. The request was formally refused on May 16, giving Ripple Labs a victory this week. Case developments concerning XRP. Another victory has been achieved by Ripple Labs in its ongoing legal struggle against the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. SEC new court judgment shows that Judge Annalisa Torres rejected a SEC's request to keep the notorious Ponzi scheme under wraps. The U.S. SEC has asked the court to keep the Hyman speech documents under secrecy because they include internal agency discussions, but the court rejected the SEC's challenge to Judge Sarah Netburn's decision. SEC claims that the records related to the notorious Hyman speech were protected by the deliberative process or attorney. Client privileges were thrown out by Judge Netburn. The Commission, however, has argued that sensitive materials should be kept under wraps since they have no bearing on the pending summary judgment motions. According to the judgment, the court does not agree with the U.S. SEC and considers the Hyman speech memoranda to be judicial records that should be open to the public. The court finds the contentious papers to be relevant to the exercise of the judicial function and potentially helpful to the judicial process. The defendant in the XRP litigation, Brad Garlinghouse, has shared his thoughts on the recent victory against the U.S. SEC. He called it another victory for openness. He also said the public would soon have access to all of Hyman's emails and records. Even the Commission's claim that secrecy is necessary to maintain openness and candor was shot down by the court. U.S. District Judge Annalisa Torres has added a new wrinkle to the current Ripple V's SEC court battle by rejecting the SEC's request to conceal papers relating to the Hyman speech. This new development follows a lengthy court order from last year, when Judge Sarah Netburn demanded the regulatory body hand up the documents to Ripple as part of the discovery procedure. On December 22, 2018, the SEC filed a move to seal texts, expert reports, and internal emails relating to Hyman's comments, arguing that the public's right to access documents of irrelevance outweighed the agency's goal. Meanwhile, Judge Torres indicated that Hyman's paperwork may play a role in the court's decision. The files in issue include correspondence and remarks made by William Hyman, a former director of the Corporation Finance Division at the SEC. The former official denied that Ether was a security back in 2018. The files also include some first thoughts and research for XRP. Because they provide the SEC's first impression of XRP, The papers are crucial to Ripple's argument. Following a recent court ruling, the securities watchdog was given permission to redact the personal information of persons mentioned in papers filed by Hyman. Taurus also gave her stamp of approval to certain deletions suggested by Ripple. The judge, however, ruled against certain redactions that included XRP. Cryptocurrency expert Ben Armstrong, better known by his online moniker BitBoy, recently released a video in which he revealed the minimum number of XRP tokens, ETH, on the Ripple network, required to achieve millionaire status as a cryptocurrency trader. According to Armstrong, one has to own 150,000 XR points to be considered a billionaire in the XRP ecosystem. The crypto influencer's opinion naturally sparked a firestorm with a plethora of replies. In an effort to get insight, several members of the crypto community decided to organize polls to gauge public opinion. Popular XRP influencer Jenna conducted a survey, and she got a lot of responses. It's interesting that most respondents don't believe one needs anywhere near 150,000 XRP to become a billionaire. The second place group, with 22.6% of the vote, says 150 sounds about right, while 62.5% of the respondents think they require less than 150 XRP. Armstrong, though, offered a warning statement, stressing the need for a cautious strategy in light of the poll's findings. BitBoy made this remark after calculating that he might become a billionaire with 150,000 XRP. Armstrong, in light of the outcome, warned against being too aggressive with forecasts, emphasizing the damage that may come from being too sure of one's own ability. He advised people to adopt a more cautious outlook after drawing on the lessons of the last bull run. He warned that investors should be wary of overly optimistic forecasts that set them up for disappointment. One thing I took away from the previous bull run is the need of maintaining a cautious outlook, he added. Predictions that are made too hastily might cause harm. To become a billionaire with only 150 XRP, the price of the currency would need to rise beyond $6.07, and at the present price of $4,271, it would cost around $65 SCOC to purchase 150 SCOC purchase, 150 cakes. In contrast to BitBoy's recommendation of $150,000, crypto enthusiast Edward Farina expressed hope that possessing only 10,000 XRP tokens may be enough to achieve financial independence. Nebraskan Gunnar, a well-known Bitcoin trader, was recently reported by the Crypto Basic to have mocked BitBoy for his advice on how to become an XR billionaire. Gunnar sent a screenshot of an article and emphasized BitBoy's instructions, which included creating a token and then using the money to purchase $1 million in XRP. Gunnar's job had nothing to do with the story. Rather, he was directed at BitBoy because of his recent involvement with the Ben Meme currency, suggesting that BitBoy would pull the Bencoin project.